I know I missed a few chapters, and I'm sorry about that, guys. I've been dealing with some stuff IRL, but that's not important. What is important is the JJK content is back, and then I'll be reviewing the official releases on Sunday, just like how it was before. Also, these spoilers are provided by our boy Miyamura on Twitter. Go ahead and give him a follow. Megumi and Reggie have a short conversation, after which Reggie transfers his points and passes away. Okay, so that's glancing over quite a bit. But again, these are just leaks, and the leakers and everyone else involved can only go off of the information that is provided to them/us. So going back to the previous chapter, Megumi and Reggie actually had a pretty entertaining fight. So it ultimately came down to Reggie using his ace by literally dropping a house on top of Megumi. He decided to do this after like emerging out of the shadow water stuff with his own car. Since he initially didn't give that car a command, so it was kind of on standby and didn't dissolve like his other items that he gave commands to. By the way, I don't remember when I said it, but I don't know, a couple chapters back when Reggie first showed up, I suspected that his curse technique was probably him just being able to manifest items that were on the receipts that he had. And it turns out that that was pretty much the case. But anyway, like I said, he drops a house on Megumi, but fast-thinking Megumi deactivates his domain expansion, and that allows the house to like straight up fall into the gymnasium, which no longer has the Chimera Shadow Guard in it, and it busted through the floor and sent Reggie into the pool below. And after that huge exchange, the audience was led to believe that this was going to come down to like a physical fight. But as we now know, being a sorcerer is just being a con artist, and Megumi conned Reggie into thinking that his divine dog was no longer a viable option for him to use in this fight, but turns out it was, and it took off like a hunk of Reggie. And for some reason, I thought that Reggie was going to like live through that, but no, it turns out that that was fatal. And apparently they're going to have a short conversation here where Reggie transfers his points to Megumi and then, kicks the bucket. I thought Reggie was fine. He wasn't a bad character. He was just fine. He was no Higuruma, of course, but, he served his purpose, which was just being Megumi's first boss fight for this arc, which there's going to be many in the coming chapters, since it was heavily implied by Hazanoki, who we're going to see in this chapter, that there are many sorcerers from 1,000 years ago in the culling game right now, which we, the audience, assumed up until this point, but we're just not really aware of how many there are. Takaba versus Hazanoki. None of the explosives thrown by Hazanoki are damaging Takaba. He's also regenerating the damage he received from earlier attacks. So this is the other side of the coin in this first level boss fight for Megumi. We also saw Takaba show up a couple chapters back, and he was an absolute beast. I mean, he was just getting praised with compliments from Hazanoki and Megumi. I mean, aside from them cringing at him, but that's kind of like his character. He's like a cringy powerhouse. And also what brings us to this fight was Takaba like knocking Hazanoki far away and then kind of just left Megumi to take on Reggie. Reggie himself was like, well, he's dead. Ironic, right? But it's saying here regenerating the damage he received from earlier attacks. Takaba said, and I think chapter 169, and that's the last time we saw him, I think. Nice. He said that on top of his curse technique that involves him like, pulling teeth or just things from his body and making them explosions, there's also another aspect to it that involves reverse curse technique that like regenerates his lost limbs or just damage, I guess. And he didn't fully outright say that. It kind of was cut off, but the audience knows what reverse curse technique is at this point, so we kind of put two and two together. It seems that Takaba's curse technique seems to be on par with Gojo, but Hazanoki leaves after a Kogani reports Reggie's death. So this might bother some people, and Miyamura actually made a correction to that statement. He said Takaba's curse technique is comparable to Gojo's curse technique due to the way it avoids damage. So it doesn't seem like we're going to find out in this chapter what it is exactly, which is fine because there's a whole bunch going on that needs to be attended to, and that whole big exposition dump can just come later because I'm sure it's going to be just as unnecessarily complicated as Limitless is. And I really wouldn't be surprised if it's just like full counter from Seven Deadly Sins, which is a battle manga technique that I have one of the biggest issues with. And also, turns out that Hazanoki is gonna live, so he's coming back for sure, and I wonder if he's gonna turn into an ally or not. In Jujutsu Kaisen, it's not always that linear. Obviously, we see characters escape from death only to come back and just die a horrible death later. Remy is seen to be chased by a shadow, which turns out to be Megumi. When she squats down, the shadow disappears where Megumi had fallen. An angel shows up in the sky. Okay, so this angel for sure is going to be Hanakurusu, and I say for sure because I'm just reading this text. I obviously haven't seen the chapter yet, but there's only one angel that we really know of, and it was set up at the very beginning of the arc, and the angel is Hanakurusu, who is also a sorcerer from 1,000 years ago and has the curse technique to remove curse techniques, which is, of course, easily one of the best abilities in the series, especially because when you remove their curse technique, you straight up kill them. It's not like Aizawa from My Hero, where he like targets your quirk factor and shuts off the ability. But this is good and bad because she's probably like one of the most powerful people in the culling game, I'm assuming, but good because, you know, they need her to release Gojo from the prison realm. That was like Tengen's plan. He was like, hey guys, find the angel, use her ability on the prison realm, and, you know, get your boy out. 5 new characters are introduced in Sendai Colony, and Okotsu, who has 35 points, defeats one of those new players at the end. All right, Okotsu's back, our boy, finally, and this totally makes sense because the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie just came out, or I don't know if it just came out. Did it come out in like December or something? I don't know, but it's coming out, I think, in like March in America or something. I don't know. I'll have the date here if I remember. Now, I'm assuming that when we see these 5 new characters, maybe it's going to be like panels side by side, unless they're all in the same place, like congregating around Okotsu. Also, for some reason, I feel very worried about Okotsu in this arc. I really don't want him to die. I mean, I've already accepted that Gojo is going to die, and guys, if you're worried about that, I would just say accept it as well. I'm going to make a video eventually explaining my theory on why I'm pretty sure Gojo is going to die, and the character who's going to kill him is going to break your heart. But I'm pretty interested in these 5 new characters, simply because they're new, but I just really want to see more of these 1,000-year-old sorcerers. But to be honest, I'm just kind of glad we're past the Megumi and Reggie fight. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it maybe didn't need to be that long. Not that I want this series to be rushed or anything, but, you know, culling game. Let's see Okotsu do some stuff. Bring Higuruma back. I already miss him. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about these spoilers in the comments, and please subscribe if you are interested in my Jujutsu Kaisen content. I will be reviewing the official release on Sunday. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.